going on, guys? So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go over the entire prep I'm about to do for this upcoming bodybuilding year, and we're going to determine what it takes mentally, from diet, from workouts, physically, and what to expect when it comes to doing a bodybuilding prep and doing it the right way. A lot of people go into preps and they do a lot of things that end up hurting them. One being they diet way too short. If you're a drug-free athlete, the best thing you can do is a longer prep. And I know when you first think about that, logically you're like, well, I'm going to be hungry for a long period of time, when that's not really the case. When you diet for a long period of time, you're actually going to be less hungry, because what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to eat more food for a longer period of time, and you're not crash dieting. So it's gonna be more sustainable for a longer period of time. And the biggest part about dieting for 16, 20, 24 weeks, the most important thing of doing that is just tracking what you're eating, making sure you're hitting your fats, carbs, and proteins, and doing that over a long period of time. So you have to be more accountable with yourself, which was definitely one of the big things. So what I'm going to be doing, starting June 1st, I'm going to be doing a 20-week cut. The plan I have is doing the Cape Cod show, which is October 6th, and I'm still on the fence between the main show, which is 2 weeks before that, and then also 2 weeks prior to that, there's another show in Boston, the big Boston Battle. So those are the three shows that are in my mind, and I'm 100% going to be doing the Cape. And the way I'm going to be doing my prep is I'm going to be carb cycling. So what carb cycling kind of is I'm going to be doing lower days of carbohydrates and then higher days. My proteins and fats aren't going to change, and what I'm going to be doing is starting with 3 low days of carbohydrates and then shooting 1 high, then 3 low and then 1 high. So it's going to be mixing and matching a little bit, but that's where I'm going to be at. So right now I'm maintaining about 230 grams of protein, 450 carbs, and about 100 grams of fat. So that is my baseline right now. When I start my prep June 1st, I'm going to be doing the same protein, the same fat, but the carbs are going to fluctuate. That's the only thing I'm going to fluctuate. So what I'm going to do is do a high day at 400 and a low day at 200. And I'm going to do that for the low days for 3 days, and then the high day for 1. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to let that do all the cutting right away. I'm not going to be doing cardio. I'm going to be hitting my lifts, just letting the diet do the work. And once I plateau on my weight loss, I'm gonna fluctuate the carbs a little bit more. So I may pull my high day down a little and also my low day down a little. So from 400 on a high to maybe 350 on a high, and then from 200 on a low to like 150 on a low. And like I said, I want my diet to do most of the work. The biggest problem with bodybuilding is people cut way too much weight way too fast. And they cut calories and they add cardio. You're going to be at a deficit. If you're consuming a lot of calories and you take away a huge chunk, and then you're adding more cardio, you're putting yourself at such a deficit that you'll lose a ton of weight quick, 3, 4, 5 pounds a week for a few weeks. But then now you have no calories. Now you're not eating a lot of calories, and your carbs are low, and then you're adding a ton of cardio, and now you can't lose weight. So what's the next step? There is none. Your metabolic rate crashed. Now your metabolism is slowed down. And now on top of that, you can't lose weight, and you have a lot of weight to lose still. So that's a big reasoning behind the long-term diets too. 20-week diets. You lose about a pound a week to a pound and a half a week. By the time you get to the show, you're in good shape. Metabolic rate's high, and that's the idea behind the cycling that I do. The 3 days low, you're depleting carbs, you're pulling away some calories. Your body's like, okay, we're pulling fat off a little bit, and then boom, we jack up the carbs. The body goes back into, the body absorbs the carbs, your energy goes back up, and the metabolism stays high. So, super important to diet slow and lose the weight slow, so your metabolic rate can stay high and you don't damage it, and then you can lose the weight and not be super hungry for, a long time and be miserable. There's a problem in bodybuilding. The guy who suffers the most doesn't always win. So you might as well do it the right way. And that's my plan. So as the weeks go on, we're going to have to do a little tweaking, but that's how I'm going to start off the entire cut for the show. my training doesn't change. A lot of people, as they get closer to show, they're going to go lighter. I don't know why you would do that. I don't believe in doing that. You know, you're already not eating a ton of calories. You're at a deficit. So if you're pulling back your training volume, that's the only thing keeping your muscle there, is stimulating it, because your calories are low. So if you're not stimulating it and you're not eating, you're going to lose more muscle. So if anything, increase the volume a little. You know, keep stimulating the muscle and try to maintain that body weight as you go. You know, I'm going to train as heavy as I can right up to the show. You will get weaker, there's no doubt. That's just simple. But when it comes down to it, you know, keep the training volume as high as you possibly can. You know, keep going as heavy as you can. And, you know, the best way is eating as much as you can, as long as you can. You know, it shouldn't be miserable. The last few weeks will be. There's no doubt. You're just at a deficit. But you want to be able to go as long as you can without being hungry. You know, so I'm going to be doing that over 20 weeks. So I'll keep you guys posted on exactly the changes I'm making to my diet. My training won't change much, but I'll keep you posted on how I'm feeling, how my energy levels are, and you know, that'll happen in further videos. But I wanted to give everyone that was interested or was curious to how I diet, how my training volume changes, and what way I go about it. I'm kind of, you know, I really love how Lane Norton diets his athletes. You know, the godfathers of natural bodybuilding, 3DMJ. You know, those guys, they prep you for long periods of time, and it's the way to do it if you're a natural athlete. You can't just drop a ton of weight and keep all your muscle mass. You have to go long periods of time. That way you can hang on as much muscle as you can get as lean as you can, and it's just truly the best way to do it. So, you know, I hope that gives you guys a little idea of what I go through in a prep, and kind of from diet, from training, and just my mental state, you know, as I get deeper into prep, you know. But I'm super excited about this upcoming year. Hopefully we got a pro card coming in hand. You know, you never know who's going to show up to a show, but I'm definitely going to give it my all, and hopefully we'll come home with a pro card, and we'll be a IFPA, natural pro bodybuilder. So, you know, all right, guys. So let me know on the feedback how you liked it, and let me know if you have any other questions related to my diet, my prep, what I go through. It's going to change here and there, but I appreciate it. You know, have a good night, guys. Thanks.